I have never met such a visionary, effective, passionate professional as Elson Floyd. He has the ability somehow to channel vision.
Good afternoon. I'm John Tomkowiak. I'm the founding dean of the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine, and it's my pleasure to welcome the inaugural class, their family, friends. We have viewers who are watching us via live stream, and we have some other guests that I'd like to introduce. Special recognition to many of our Board of Regent members who are here today, our Chancellor, our Provost, and the President and First Lady. In addition, is an advisor to the College of Medicine, as well as many legislators, community members, and others who have brought us to this very moment. I'd also like to thank our sponsors, the Arnold P. Gold Foundation, who helped make this white coat ceremony happen, as well as the Gold Foundation pins, and the Washington Academy of Family Physicians for their donation of stethoscopes to each of our students in our inaugural class. I would now like to introduce Todd Marshall. Todd is the state poet of Washington, and I got to hear him read a poem a few months ago, and he's agreed to compose a poem for today's event. And so, Todd, I invite you to the stage to recite your poem. Thank you so much.
Thank you and good afternoon. I have to begin with a mini commercial. My name is Todd Marshall, and from 2016 to 2018, I'm serving as the Washington State Poet Laureate. The Washington State Poet Laureate program is sponsored by Arts Washington and Humanities Washington, and it exists to increase awareness and appreciation of poetry throughout the state. Toward that end, I visited kindergarten classes, universities, correctional facilities, retirement homes, libraries, and many, many, many schools, talking about the importance of finding words that matter. It's an honor to be here and part of the ceremony today, and I want to give my congratulations to the inaugural class and offer this poem for the occasion. The poem has two epigraphs, brief quotations, before I get to the actual work. The first epigraph reads, quote, "It's important to be a scientist, but it is also important to be a scientist who knows how to listen, how to think, and how to express himself or herself as clearly as possible. To get complicated ideas across to a person who has not studied medicine, but who is suffering." That's from Robert Coles in his essay, A Manner of Being. And the second quotation reads, quote, "Nothing is of any avail among the soldiers except conscientious personal investigation of cases, each for itself, with sharp, critical facilities and boundless love." And that's from Walt Whitman in a letter he wrote from an Army hospital during the Civil War in 1863. Toward wholeness. The beautiful sounds, of course, are not to blame. Metastasized lymphoma, tragic sibilants of sarcoidosis, the magical ease with which a word as brutal as tumor can be shaped with lips, teeth, and tongue. Consider, though, the fear of hearing those words, of cutaneous melanoma or a pharmaceutical, Zithromax, cisplatin, or even the phrase, "We'll start immediate aggressive treatment." We know that knowledge and music can bond in a lucid union against fear, a first singing toward making things whole, sound, or at least better. Yes, white cloth may have been a way to reveal the sprout of bacteria, and yes, the word heal, to make whole, is the reason for which we gather, to see, to hear, to know something so well that the doing becomes what we call love. Each day as we rise to broken bodies, physical, communal, political. We can try to move toward a first singing of wholeness that causes no fear, no harm. Remember, the white cap on a wave reveals nothing of the water's purity or depth, and the white feathers of an osprey tell us little about the grace of its flight. Today is beautiful plumage and honor. Tomorrow, your gentle actions, the music of your listening, your knowledge, will bear out the virtue of a coat's threads. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Todd. I would now like to introduce Dr. Lisa Brown, the Chancellor of the Health Science Campus.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone here, especially if you are not from Spokane, to our city. Today is a day, oh, by the way, isn't it great to live in a state that has a state poet? Very happy about that. Thank you so much, Todd. This is a day of dreams being realized. It is a day where there is so much gratitude to share with so many, and it is a day that symbolizes transformation. Spokane really likes the concept of transformation. In 1974, it was the smallest city ever to take on the dream of transforming itself by holding a World's Fair. And in that World's Fair, it literally did transform itself in the way it looked at the river and the way it started to embrace both its heritage in the natural environment as well as the international presence of many who came to share in that World's Fair. This building we're in almost became a parking lot. And then 10 years ago, an amazing effort came together, public and private, and turned it into this incredible venue. And what we are launching today is indeed a transformation for Washington State University and for the community of Spokane, the region, and the state. We all know about the transformative power of higher education, how it can take an individual life and cause it to realize an amazing potential, and then that individual can help transform their family, their community, and the world. I'm going to challenge us today to think about one more transformation represented by this incoming class of the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine, and that is the transformation of our health and health care. I believe and do challenge you students to be part of that transformation of our health care. And we will support you, and we will all then be challenged to turn healthcare into something that is not a political football, that is in fact not something that represents some of our toughest challenge and biggest social disparities, but instead really represents a future we can all be proud of as communities and as a country. So thank you all for being here. One final word of gratitude, because much of this dream came about before we were able to get the leadership and guidance of Dr. John Tomkowiak and his team. And I just got to say, Dr. T, great job. We're so proud of you, the students. And everyone here or not who may be listening who knows that you had a major part in making this happen. Gratitude to all of you. It's now my pleasure to introduce the Chief Academic Leader of Washington State University, Dr. Dan Bernardo.
Thank you, Lisa. It is absolutely wonderful to be here and see our first class of students. I chose to reflect just a little bit today in my comments, because I am the operations person and the nuts and bolts person, if you will, a little bit about our journey over the last couple years. It was just over 2.5 years ago in which Dr. Floyd was able to obtain the legislative changes necessary for WSU to establish its medical school. This has been a Herculean effort on the part of many, many people, in really accomplished in record time. And of course, the person who we always want to keep this event focused on is Dr. Floyd, whose vision and political acumen really was what set this in motion. I also wanted to, and we're going to hear more about that, I'm sure, and it's great to have his widow here, Carminta, so that we can recognize Dr. Floyd's contributions. This, there was a couple groups I just wanted to highlight. One was this, so we started this, we didn't have a College of Medicine. We didn't have a dean. We really, unfortunately, due to President Floyd's passing, we had an interim president, and that was myself, with a huge job to try to lead. But there was this small and mighty team here, and I'm not going to call them all out, but everybody in the College of Medicine knows that small group that was here of medical professionals, even before Dr. T, that got this whole thing rolling, and they did a tremendous job setting the table. There were many, many people at WSU that had to bend a few rules, didn't break them, Mr. President, but we had to bend them and expedite to meet this timeline, which was something that we all affectionately called Elson time, which is essentially double time. People within the faculty senate, within the provost office, within the board of regents, we had to have special meetings to meet the timeline, special permission, the attorney general's office, the registrar's office, all of these folks really advancing this initiative at record pace. And so I just wanted to recognize all those people and say thank you on behalf of a grateful university for all of your contributions. And of course, I wanted to finally highlight one person who's already been highlighted, but I wanted to thank Dr. T for taking a leap on on WSU, a university that did not have a medical school, that did not have a background in medical science in the form of medical school. We really appreciate Dr. T taking that leap with us and his incredible leadership over the last 18 months. It's great to have our students here. Congratulations on being the inaugural class, and I guess I would say the same thing to you. Thank you for taking that leap and being that special group that we will always look back on. I wish you good luck in your studies, and we will see you in 4 years at graduation.
It's now my pleasure to introduce the president of Washington State University, Dr. Kirk Schultz.
Well, good afternoon. It's been quite a week to be a Coug. It's been, we started this week in Everett, dedicating a brand new state-of-the-art facility for us in the Everett area, especially around STEM fields, and certainly it's going to impact the medical school here. Then we, yesterday, had a blessing of the Elson S. Floyd Culture Center on campus. Earlier today, the reason you see a lot of the senior university administrators looking like we're a little haggard is earlier today we had our convocation where we welcomed our freshman class of nearly 400 students 4,000 students, onto the Pullman campus. And then we sort of culminate that week today with our white coat ceremony. So it's always a great time to be a Coug, but man, this week has really been special, and I want to welcome everybody. So yes. But I certainly want to welcome our new students. It's awesome and look forward to participating. This is my first white coat ceremony that I've ever even attended, so this will be historic for myself as well as for you. We want to welcome your families who are here. And the way we work at Washington State University is I don't care where you went to school before, once you're part of the WSU family, you're Cougs. If you're writing checks, you're a Coug. We'll take it all. So the families here, you're part of Washington State University from here on out as well. And then I know she has been recognized already by both previous speakers, but I'm really pleased today that we could have Carmenta Floyd with us to recognize the work that she and Elson did together to make this possible, but certainly to be here, to be honored, and be recognized for what really is a momentous achievement. So again, a round of applause for Carmenta. Thank you. So it's interesting, presidents, we sort of go out and talk with other presidents at different meetings and things, and all presidents want to kind of one-up the other ones that are there. It's just kind of part of what we do, but we want to kind of do it in a really easy way. So I remember talking over the last year and a half or so about, hey, we're starting a medical school at Washington State, and then I'll hear somebody else, oh yeah, we're doing it too. Then I say, but the difference is, for our medical school, the state of Washington is actually providing the money. And they go, well, what do you mean that they're providing the money? They're letting you keep your tuition? No, I said, they are investing in the second publicly funded medical school in the state of Washington. So many other states have elected to de-invest in public higher education. And we are unique and special in the state of Washington in having a legislature, a governor, having elected officials on both sides of the aisle that recognize that public higher education and access to quality facilities, people, faculty, and that is part of what we need as a state to grow economically. So while we will reflect on the great job that everybody did to make this a reality, we also live in a special state that really values this, and that's part of why we're here today. We're going to see greater access to health care for our underserved areas across the state. And this is something that we've talked about a lot. I talk about it a lot no matter what group I am. John talks about it. Lisa talks about it. Our incoming chancellor talks about that this is part of why we're here. And I think it's important that we keep our eye on that particular goal as we move through. And I love the fact that our future physicians are going to be out there in the state of Washington, living in different communities, not simply being through for a week or two, but out there as a member of those particular communities. We are going to have greater access to medical education for residents in the state of Washington. And we see lots and lots of things out there about the need for more physicians in our state, and this is a tangible step forward. The expansion of University of Washington Medical School, as well as our starting this. And you add everybody together from both classes, and if they all stayed in the state of Washington, it's still not going to meet all the healthcare needs that we have. So we have a great challenge ahead of us, but we're going to step up. Our first class was entirely Washington residents. And I go out and we say this a lot, and everybody's like, yeah, I'm sure that's, but you kind of hedged a little bit, didn't you? I'm sure you got some out of state because you wanted those extra dollars. And I'll say, you know what? We don't even have an out-of-state tuition rate. And people are like, okay, tell me really what's up. I was like, no, we don't have an out-of-state tuition rate. So when we talk about a commitment to the state of Washington, please know that all of you had those different connections to Washington, and we're going to continue with that moving forward. This wasn't do it for your first year and then we change everything. This is really going to be a core value of our College of Medicine. Our initial class is a diverse group, picked for their leadership, teamwork, and entrepreneurial mindset, as well as their grades and their test scores. And I had a meeting with John and some other folks, and we were talking about, one of my favorite topics, right, budget. Not really one of my favorites, but that's what we were talking about. And John had up on his office wall this PowerPoint presentation. And for our students, each one of you had a slide. That was a picture, a background, what you'd done, some of these different kind of things. And so I asked for a copy of that. And if I had a chance to look at it, and let me tell you, your background and what you bring in our inaugural class is just amazing. The background, the volunteer work, many of you work professionally in healthcare and all that stuff. I mean, it's just, I'm stunned, so stunned in a good way. I'm so glad to have you here, and as I get older, I need you to be really proficient at human medicine so you can, the whole Pres discount thing. So we also, though, it's not just are we producing more docs, but are we doing some things differently? And I think the interdisciplinary healthcare teams working with nursing and pharmacy and together and looking at different ways of doing things is a critical key part of that, the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine at WSU. So anyway, I think I'm just proud to be here. Let me mention a few people that I think played absolutely critical roles. And one of the things is this took a village to make happen. There was people from all walks of life that made this happen. Our chancellor, Lisa Brown, who has been our chancellor here for 4 years, and has done really a tremendous job of helping us move this thing through conceptually, working in Olympia, being here, working with John and with the team here to make this a reality, and I really appreciate everything Lisa's done. When I was coming here, I happened to visit with the person who manages the University of Kansas healthcare kind of thing, and I said, oh man, I'm so excited. We're starting a medical school. I'm going to be part of that. He's like, Kirk, docs are a little different. And I go, oh, it's all right. I've been a faculty member and all that. He goes, no, we are a little different to manage. And so when I got here and I met our new dean, I kind of had that in the back of my mind. And John is outstanding to manage. He's great. But my favorite story, which he will hate that I'm going to tell, we were doing a development visit somewhere, sitting in the airport, and he says, Kirk, we got a couple hours. Let's sit down. Let's have a drink. And so I got iced tea, and he got an adult beverage. No, we both got adult beverages. And we're sitting there having this little sip, and I finished mine, and I'm like, well, I got to drive home and from Spokane. And he goes, you know how long it takes you to metabolize that drink? You can have a second. So if you're going to go and party, this is the man you need to go with. So so what I like about John is you're going to hear about all this other terrific stuff he did, but I think it's that fun side of John that we've all got to see that is also part of what really makes him a joy to work with as our founding dean. The other folks that I do want to mention that played such a key role in this is our government relations team that worked really, really hard in Olympia with the different folks that were at the university in Pullman, worked with our legislative folks, and that's Colleen Kerr, our vice president, and Chris Mulick, who is our director of sort of statewide relations, and I think they're both here. But I just want to express my appreciation for the hard work that they did. Government relations is a tough job. At the end when you get something, everybody's like, oh, that's awesome. But it's like sausage making. Nobody wants to sort of see how it's done, and I really appreciate all the work that they did. Dan Bernardo, who is up here, Elson did tremendous things for Washington State University. He was a great visionary president. We wouldn't be here today without his vision and his drive to make that happen. Dan stepped in a really difficult, challenging time for WSU, hired a dean, and moved this thing forward. And I just want to express my appreciation for everything Dan did. And then one of the great things about Washington State University, and I've worked at a whole bunch of institutions, is we have a really exceptional working relationship with our faculty. And I continue to be amazed at our faculty leadership. We bring forward big, bold ideas. And we say, you know what, we got to do this really kind of fast. And they could say, you know what, I'm sorry, but this is going to take us 2 years and we can't do this. Instead, and Dan mentioned this, we have faculty leadership that says, this is important, we want to figure out how to do it, and we're here to help you. And we've had this and other major initiatives even in my time, and it's amazing to see our faculty come together behind these initiatives. So folks, it's really a pleasure to be here today. This is sort of, when I was taking the job here, I imagined what this day would be like, and it's just fantastic to be part of it. So with that, welcome to our class. You're all Cougs now. Don't care where you went to school. I expect you to cheer for the Cougs every Saturday in football. Yeah. And just as a little pro tip, depending on where you went to school, that purple is not really seen in a really highlighted way on our campus. So anyway, go Cougs. Thanks for being here.
Awesome, thank you. This is a moment I've been waiting for a long time. It's a very special one. And I want to start by saying 3 seconds. But what I want to reflect on first is about the profession of medicine, what it means to be a doctor or a physician, and what those symbols of the profession might be. And you all are going to help me figure that out. So when I say the word doctor, physician, medicine, what comes to mind? Anybody? There's no right or wrong answer here. Shout it out so I can hear it. Healer. Excellent. What else? Wellness. Yes. Excellent. Thank you. What else? Advocate. Passion. Knowledge. Yes. Thank you, Greg. What else? What are some of the things that doctors use or that make you say, oh, that's a doctor? Excuse me? Yes. A white coat. I was hoping somebody would eventually get around to that one. Sure, there's lots of things. There's a caduceus, there's a stethoscope. It used to be a black bag, not so many of those anymore. But there was a recent survey that said 80% of physicians still use a coat in their practice from time to time. It's not always white, but it is probably one of the most recognized symbols of the profession. So what does this white coat ceremony mean to you all? What is this about? It really means 2 things. One, this is the beginning of your journey to being inducted into the profession. But secondly, and most importantly, this white coat that you're going to get cloaked with today is your commitment to do your best over the next years as you are in training, so that you will be the most amazing and excellent physician to your future patients. When you put that coat on today, that is what you are committing to. 3 seconds. So, who is this inaugural class of the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine? Well, I'm going to answer that question by telling you who they are not. Who they are not is they are not a dream. They are not a figment of my or your or any of ours imagination. They are not a scene from the movie Inception. They are real. And as some of our distinguished speakers have said already, it took so many people to bring us to this moment so that you could be sitting in those seats today. And it is really humbling to be standing here and getting to do this and recognizing how many people were involved. to making this happen. 3 seconds. So now let me tell you who you are as an inaugural class. As President Schultz mentioned, you all have ties to the state of Washington. You represent 15 different counties, 7 which are underserved. 13 of you have advanced degrees. 8 of you have already served as a healthcare professional. Some of you were college athletes. Some of you were college scholars. Some of you have already published a research paper. At least 2 of you have served in the military, and I thank you for your service. But even though you all have ties to the state of Washington, you are an incredibly global group of students. I told you the other day that I thought collectively you have traveled to 30 countries, but when I re-looked at all your profiles, it's more like about 50 countries you've either lived in, you've studied in, or you've done service in. President Schultz commented on how many service hours you've done. Over tens of thousands of service hours, either here in this state or abroad. And oh, by the way, collectively you speak about 25 languages. Wow. And the other thing is apparently all of these students climb mountains. I don't know how I'm going to keep up with them. 3 seconds. You didn't get to sitting in those seats by yourself, though. So many people helped you to get to where you are today. They supported you, they sacrificed for you, and they cheered you on. So students, will you please rise? Face the audience. And students, this is your opportunity to thank your family, your loved ones, your friends, and the community who have supported you, students. Students, you may be seated. 3 seconds. I hope everyone, like me, brought their imagination caps today. I'm going to pull mine out of my back pocket. It's right here. Get a second to put it on. Can everyone see it? If you can't, you don't have your imagination caps on. I'll wait a few seconds. Put yours on. So I'm going to tell you a story, and you can change the characters, you can change everything about the story to make it fit you. And here it goes. Imagine yourself a 120-pound, scrawny freshman, and it's the first day of football practice, and you're doing a blocking drill. And standing across from you is a 250-pound varsity senior. The coach blows the whistle, and he knocks you down, and this happens about 15 times. And pretty soon, the coach comes over and says, I know this is a hard drill. I know it doesn't seem fair, but I think you can do better. You look at him, and you're like, do you see this guy across from me? He's a giant, and he stops you and says, you know, for 3 seconds, I think you can do anything. He gives you that look, says the conversation's over. You get down in your three-point stance, you muster up all the energy and courage that you have. He blows the whistle, and for 3 seconds, you stand your ground. the whistle blows again. Of course, you get knocked down at that point. But for 3 seconds, you held your ground. And he comes over to you and he says, I told you for 3 seconds you could do anything. I'd like you to keep those imagination caps on for just a moment longer, because I want you to imagine some of the different things a physician can do in 3 seconds. In 3 seconds, a physician can apply a tourniquet and potentially stop an arterial bleed and save your life. In 3 seconds, a physician can look at your neck and see an enlarged thyroid, diagnose hyperthyroidism, and potentially save your life. In 3 seconds out in the field, a physician can set a broken bone. I could go on and on about the amazing things a physician could do in 3 seconds. But there's a different list of things that a physician can do. And frankly, all of you students and everybody who's sitting in the audience today, and this is what that list looks like. In 3 seconds, you can tell a peer or a colleague they did a great job. In 3 seconds, you can tell someone, thank you. In 3 seconds, you can place your hand on a person's shoulder and tell them you care. In 3 seconds, you can remind yourself you're not omniscient and say the words, I don't know. In 3 seconds, you can remind yourself you're human and that you make mistakes and say the words, I'm sorry, with the intention to try to never to make the same mistake again. And when words fail you, you can offer 3 seconds of silence. I've been talking to the students a lot the past 3 days about the importance of building culture, about how culture is the most important thing that any of us can be a part of to be successful. At the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine, a part of the way that we demonstrate our culture are through these priorities that everyone at the college has agreed to that we're going to follow in a specific order. The faculty, the staff, and now our students. So I'm going to ask the students' help on this one to help share with you those priorities in their order. So students, the first priority is personal health. The second priority, family and friends. And the third priority, school. In case you didn't hear, let me go over those again. The first priority is personal health, both our mental health and physical health. If you cannot take care of yourself, there's no way you can take care or support anyone else. If someone in your family or friend is hurting, is feeling pain, is suffering, you have to attend to them. None of us can focus on the task or job at hand if someone we love is hurting. And if you take care of priorities number 1 and priorities number 2, then priority number 3 will be easy. And you will bring all the enthusiasm, all the energy, all the passion to your school, to your job, or to your life. 3 seconds. I'd like to end my reflections today telling you about a quote that I came across as I was thinking about this very moment. And I was thinking about how many firsts the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine has been engaged in over the last 2 years. It's been a lot. The quote goes like this: "The beauty of a first time is that it will lead to 1,000 other firsts." I know our inaugural class has already had a bunch of firsts, and they're going to continue to have more. The Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine and WSU have had a bunch of firsts, and we're going to have a bunch more. But what I would tell all of you is that everyone sitting here, in the communities around the state of Washington, those organizations that these students that our college is going to touch, there are going to be so many firsts for all of you as well. So my final advice is this: buckle up, strap in, because it will be an awesome ride. Students, congratulations on getting to where you are. And everyone, thank you for allowing me some time to share my thoughts. Thank you. It's now the time in the program where we want to honor the late Dr. Elson Floyd. And I've already told my team, so I'll just tell everyone in the audience, it's okay to cry. So if you do, don't worry, you'll be joined by lots of us. Dr. Floyd lived his model of being bold, audacious, and visionary. This is something I tell my team all the time. Elson said, if we're going to make a medical school, we're not going to make any medical school. We're going to make one that's bold, audacious, and visionary. This College of Medicine and everyone here today is evidence of that vision and evidence of his idea of bringing healthcare to every challenging healthcare environment across the state. So to pay tribute to Dr. Floyd, we have prepared a short video, which I'd ask you to watch now.
I have never met such a visionary, effective, passionate professional as Elson Floyd. He has the ability somehow to channel vision and passion to execution.
I have never seen him back away from a great idea. He was the first person who said, we should do $1 billion.
He never had a doubt.
This legislation authorizes Washington State University to offer and teach medicine. And
he was always there to say, you know, we'll get there. This is the right thing to do. Let's just work our way through it.
He had the gift of making our dreams seem possible and turning our aspirations into reality.
There are now young people who have opportunities that they would have never had before if it hadn't been for Elson Floyd's leadership. What he did changed lives.
Together, Washingtonians are inspired and will carry on his legacy.
We are extremely thankful for the visionary leadership of Dr. Elson Floyd. He has become the voice for higher education in our state.
have to think Dr. Floyd is looking down upon us with a big smile and cheering loudly for you, our students of our inaugural class. In celebration of this moment and recognition of Dr. Floyd, I'd like to present an Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine white coat to honor him, his family, and his legacy to Mrs. Carmenta Floyd. We now ask her to join us on stage to accept the award and to say a few words.
Good afternoon. When Dr. John told me it was going to be okay to cry, I said, I'm not crying today. I'm sorry. I stand before you with a heart that is so full. And looking out at all of you, I feel an enormous sense of gratitude, pride, and honor, far beyond my ability to express it or even to measure it. I want you to know how grateful I am to every individual who worked diligently to realize this dream and establish the Elson S. Floyd Medical College. On behalf of the Floyd family, we extend our sincerest appreciation and gratitude to the Board of Regents, President Schultz, Chancellor Brown, Governor Inslee, the many legislators, alumni, friends of the university, Washington State University, and especially the Elson S. Floyd inaugural class for the College of Medicine. I want to express a special thank you to the faculty and staff and Dr. John Tomkowiak for the dedicated commitment, fortitude, your spirit of tenacity that brings us to this auspicious occasion, and what is the foundation for many successes of the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine to come. I also want to thank the Board of Regents for selecting President Schultz to lead Washington State University, our beloved university. And I know you will lead this university and this medical school to even greater greatness. Take us to a different level of greatness. I know you will. Many times, to the class, the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine inaugural class, I know you've heard it over and over again. Congratulations. Well, my family and I join all the others
and saying, congratulations. We're extremely proud of you. And we're excited about your future. How many times have you heard the quote, "To whom much is given, much is required"? You have earned and you've been given the opportunity of a lifetime, of your lifetime, one in which no other individual will ever experience. Yes, there will be a multitude of medical students and classes to follow you, but there will never be another inaugural class. So with that, you have great responsibilities, and we have great expectations of you. We're extremely proud of you, and I will say that again and again. We're extremely proud of you. And for the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine, you are and will be the most important class because you are the first. And I say this because from this day forward, you will set the standard and you will set the tone by which all other future medical students who attend the Elson S. Floyd Medical College will follow. You have chosen the noblest profession. You will affect the lives of generations to come. You will influence the quality of life for individuals and for communities. You will provide medical care, and you will prolong life. We expect greatness from you, and you must expect greatness from yourselves. You set the tone of greatness and importance for the medical college, for Washington State University, for this great state, and for the world. My husband, former President Elson S. Floyd, believed that if greatness could be accomplished, it could be done at Washington State University. Your journey as the inaugural class of the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine fulfills his dreams of greatness for Washington State University and honors him with his legacy. Thank you very much. May God's blessings continue to be with you as you continue your life's journey.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, you're getting us feeling over.
It's now my distinct honor to introduce a colleague I've known for over 17 years, a family physician by training, a palliative care doctor who not only takes care of patients, but their families. One of the people who I think are the most amazing, empathetic, caring physicians that I've ever known throughout my 30-year career. So it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Steve Grossman, who's going to give us a few of his personal reflections on the white coat. Thank you, Steve.
Good afternoon. The white coat
What does it signify? Why such a pivotal event in the life of a medical student? It marks the beginning, where you stand poised to ascend from pre-med to med student, joining the profession, learning the craft, mastering the skills. To your grandparents' generation, it truly meant the doctor. To me, it was everything I aspired to be since I first stepped into a hospital as a 14-year-old orderly and learned with wide-eyed excitement of the respect and hierarchy and tradition of medicine. To your parents' generation and mine, the coat still signified the doctor, but the image of the practitioner and the profession began to change. The scenery once occupied solely by the doctor and the patient was now filled with many new team members. For today's practitioners, the landscape continues to be transformed. The hierarchy of the profession is filled with those who in bygone days were never even given a seat at the table, let alone a voice. To me, that unveiled a new richness of collaboration, a synergy, integrating diverse perspectives for the benefit of the patient. The staggering amalgamation of science and technology, along with current healthcare economics, makes your efforts to keep patient care human even more critical. Many predict that your career in medicine will no longer be an individual endeavor, and I agree. Shouldn't we then begin to reimagine the future as a bold, audacious, visionary manner, as would our namesake? Instead of the white coat signifying exclusivity, elitism, specialness, might that white coat of the future better stand for your valued membership on a care team? A partnership that embraces the ethic of teamwork and collaboration in the pursuit of holistic patient care. One of togetherness, collectiveness, how to shepherd each patient towards a lifelong pursuit of wellness, or back to well-being after illness strikes, or safely and compassionately to their next journey when death nears. Truly emblematic of a team necessary to succeed in this work, rather than being the sole purview of just the physician. The MD degree you earn here will be testament to your knowledge and training, elevating you to a level of expertise that patients and families can trust. A symbol of your allegiance rather than your exclusivity, depicting the loyalty between you and your healthcare team. One that identifies you as an important member, maybe the quarterback in some circumstances, maybe a cheerleader in others, but the one who works tirelessly for the goals and success of the entire team, not just for the glory of self. How will you distinguish yourself when you place this universal symbol upon your shoulders? By your actions. Your thoughtfulness, compassion, creativity, and perhaps most importantly, for the future success of our discipline, by your leadership of team. What gets remembered most is the warmth you generate, not your words. The kindness of your actions, be it to the night cleaning crew, the parking lot security guard who watches you walk out on a snowy night, the cafeteria worker who gives you an extra scoop of hash browns without asking, or the nurse, yes, the nurse, who guides and steadies your inexperienced hand. Those are the people and the standards by which you will likely be judged. Your ethics, your morality, and your cultural background will be called into play often as you transition from student to medical doctor. To be in the presence of illness allows a rare, profound glimpse into the meaning of life and its frailty. You and your colleagues will be assuming the responsibility to care for patients who will entrust you with their lives. An honor, a privilege, and a responsibility unlike any other. So, dear students, please remember, there is art and science to medicine, but your warmth, sympathy, mindfulness, and patience are every bit as important as the surgeon's knife or the chemist's drug. Finally, why you are wearing this white coat today is because we chose you. We chose you to walk with us towards a better tomorrow. Congratulations to you all and your beloved family and friends who have provided you the nurturing you needed to be with us today to engage in this time-honored tradition. We wish you only success and happiness as you embark on this bold, audacious, inspirational new adventure with passion, humility, soulfulness, and heart. Thank you, and be well all. I would like to now call upon my colleague, Dr. Danny Terragucci, to introduce our inaugural class of students. We have asked them to compose a personal oath, one that you will see projected on our screen, one that captures this special moment in time and can be reflected on for many years to come. The students will be cloaked by their respective learning community mentor and clinical campus dean.
We will begin with the Everett Learning Committee. We ask Dr. Grossman and Dr. Schechner to take their place. We will begin with Keely Coxon. Charlotte Cronenwelt. Martha Dickinson Mason. Kimberly Wen. Sai Jabori. Gina Lee. Andrew Leakey. Jamie Makowitz. Meredith Rose Morrow Okan. Ekra Rai. Trevor Freeman Roush. Saad Saif. Katie Schmidt. Deep Kiran Singh. Annie Yee. We will now go to the Spokane Learning Community. We ask Dr. Kimberly Morris and Dr. Don Elise DeWitt to take the stage, please. Brent Conrad. Kendall Dean. Michael Durant. Christina Eglin. Kyle Geiger. Jackson King. Yoga Mukakamala. Josh Bahong. Gunny Pak. David Giesberg. Eric Stiles. Christina Street. Phoebe Tam. Shell Turner. Amanda Yell. Now we'll begin with the Tri-Cities Learning Communities. We ask Dr. Tom Heston and Dr. Farian Williams to take the stage. Sam Bloomsburg. Addie Bertle. Bryce Cedarquist. Carly Celebrezzi. Ryan De Leon. Michaela Fallon. Emily Gray. Taylor Hill. Chad Heflick. Ashlyn Jimenez. Kaya Jones. Patrick Miller. Ethan Payton. Georgia Schaefer Medina. Hannah Winters. Now we'll begin with the Vancouver Learning Community. We'll ask Dr. Bonnie Davis and Dr. Kevin Murray to take the stage. Morgan Black. David Choi. Julian Foreman. Alex Frankie. Elena George. Rebecca Gold. Michelle Heaton. Sam Josephson. Christy Kirkpatrick. Andres Olson. Megan Olson. Audrey Raman. Nick Randall. Megan Short. Andy Zhu.
Three seconds. In 3 seconds, we're going to change the landscape. We would now like to invite all the healthcare practitioners in the audience who wish to join with our inaugural students in the reciting of the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine Physician's Oath. To please stand and recite the oath in unison. I swear in the presence of my family, loved ones, teachers, and peers, that in accordance with my ability, judgment, I will keep this oath to reckon and hold all who have taught me this art, equally as dear as my family, and in the same spirit and dedication to impart my knowledge of the art and medicine to others. I will continue with diligence to keep abreast of advances in medicine. I will treat without exception all who seek my ministrations, so long as the treatment of others is not compromised. And I will seek the counsel of particularly skilled physicians where indicated for the benefit of my patient. I will follow that method of treatment in accordance with my ability and judgment for the benefit of my patient, and abstain from whatever is harmful or mischievous. I will neither treat nor carry out any research on human beings without valid informed consent, and I will cherish and utmost respect every human life. With purity and holiness and beneficence, I will pass my life and practice my art. Into whatever patient centering I enter, I will go for the benefit of the sick and will abstain from every voluntary act, mischief, or corruption, and further from the seduction of any patient. Whatever in connection with my professional practice or not in connection with it that I may see or hear in the lives of my patients, which ought not be spoken, I will not divulge, reckoning that all such should be kept secret. While I continue to keep this oath inviolate, may it be granted to me to practice the art and science of medicine with blessing and respect of my family, loved ones, colleagues, and society. But should I trespass and violate this oath, may the reverse be my lot. I will do my heartfelt best to forevermore be compassionate, kind, thoughtful, humble, and forgiving.
I would now ask the students to remain standing, and everyone else please be seated. Students, if you would please turn around. I now present to you the inaugural class of the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine. Students, remain standing. Everyone else, please be seated. Students, on three. 1, 2, 3. So I would ask everybody in the audience to please stay in their seats. The students and I are now going to leave to take a group picture. Doctors Grossman and Taraguchi have a few final closing words for all of you. Thank you.
We wanted to take a couple of minutes to get your reflections. And in keeping with the Dean's wonderful, wonderful speech, what can we all accomplish in 3 seconds in the course of our day? How can we make a life better? How can we change the path of someone's difficult day? We'd like you to share some of your thoughts with us while we allow the students and the Dean to be captured in a photography session. But we'd like to hear from you because this school is all about serving the 7.1 million residents of Washington State, to which you are why we come to work every day, why we're going to change the face of healthcare into the future. So please share with us your thoughts.
We want to sort of capture this moment. What does this moment mean to you? So I'll ask Dr. George Novan to share a couple thoughts to begin us off.
Thank you. So actually, this is a setup. I knew about this. Except Steve changed it. I was supposed to talk about the meaning of the white coat. So I'll answer his question first, which is to reflect for 3 seconds on what all this means. It means caring. It means standing there, comforting patients. It means admitting at times you don't know and being honest and seeking support and wisdom from others if that's what's needed. If you give me a couple of seconds, I'll do my other assignment, which is what does the white coat mean? So the white coat means, to me, it's a sign of acceptance. It's a mark of belonging, and others have already said it. It's the start of a journey. And for me, this day, these events bring back memories of my journey and former students. But most of all, to me, it is a reminder as a teacher to thank you all for sharing your loved ones with me and the rest of the faculty as we join these students on their journey. Thank you.
Thank you, George. one of our master teachers.
Could you please repeat the question?
Dr. Jeff Kiki.
What a wonderful opportunity this is. I've been working for a few years directly with students in the medical school arena, and as a physician myself, family medicine down in the Tri-Cities. It's such a wonderful opportunity to experience the growth that these youth have. I can't believe I'm getting old enough to refer to these as youth, but it's such a wonderful opportunity to have these kids and see them in their expression of hope and their ambition and their knowledge that they bring and their experience. And so it's a wonderful opportunity.
Thank you, Jeff.
I wasn't expecting this. I think 3 seconds. I'm an ear, nose, and throat surgeon, and I was reflecting on one midnight, young boy, 8-year-old, with a massive tonsillar bleed. And in those 3 seconds, I saved his life. And I kind of look back on that and think, who it was who trained me, put the effort into it, had the faith in me, to get me to the point where I was in a position to do that. And that, to me, is what it's all about, being a physician.
I'm a physician as well, and I'm in the unique position that the faculty at my residency offered my position to my husband before they offered it to me, because he turned it down in residency. My 3 seconds are primum non nocere. First, do no harm. There are many ways we can do harm to patients. We can do harm to patients when we're tired. We can make mistakes. We can not listen. We can put our words or thoughts into their mouths. I think the way, rather than reflecting on what we can do for harm, is to reflect on how we can do good. And I think we do good by being present with our patient in the room.
Thank you both. Lovely words.
Hello, I'm Layla Harrison, and I'm the Assistant Dean for Admissions and Recruitment. So my staff and I had the incredible pleasure of reading the complex applications, very long applications of your loved ones. And I can't tell you, for all these people in the audience that are involved in that process, what an honor it is to read their stories and learn about them. And all I can say is we are so overjoyed at the incredible group of people we have here. And I would just encourage you as their loved ones to continue to support them, be their rock, hold them up when they feel down, as we will on our side as well. And thank you for trusting us with their education.
Both Layla and Danny worked tirelessly on the admissions committee, and I think their efforts have shown us what these 60 students look like and what they can do.
I'm Patricia Butterfield, faculty in the College of Medicine, and I'm a nurse. And in my 3 seconds, I'd like to say what I learned was seeing the students' commitment to community. And it takes me to remembering Elson, going to every county in our state and being there at the fairgrounds and listening and being present and hearing every concern of community members. And he would be so proud to see what the students have committed to today. It's an honor to be a part of this.
Thank you, Pat.
Well, thank you for sharing some warm thoughts. I know we'll have one more last words. I do know the students are ready for the reception after the last words.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Thomas Scandalis. I'm the Dean of the College of Osteopathic Medicine at Pacific Northwest University of Health Sciences in Yakima, Washington. We were actually the second medical school in the state, but we're not publicly funded. On behalf of President Watson, the Board of Trustees, the faculty, the staff, and the students, we congratulate the inaugural class at the Elson Floyd College of Medicine. Dr. Watson had worked with Dr. Floyd for quite some time and was a big supporter. Our visions are similar, putting primarily physicians, primary care physicians, in rural and underserved areas of Washington state. And so we applaud this audacious and bold and visionary school. We embrace them as partners and colleagues, and we look forward to working with the administration, the faculty, the staff, and the students going forward. Thank you.
Thank you for coming here. You can all go join the graduates.